This is actually like one of their shirts.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I went to their they came to Beacon Skiff or something not too long ago.
Okay.
It was one of their joints.
Nice, man.
See, I like to skip the BS and just jump right in, as you can see.
I love that. You got to get everything. I mean,
I've realized the best conversations are always before and after my podcast. So I try to just
get it all.
Not let there be any time.
Don't miss the good stuff.
Yeah.
Don't miss the good stuff. Let it all happen.
So for those tuning in, I am honored to have Zak G here with me today.
Yeah, thank you to have me, man. I'm happy to be here.
And we got a big show coming up January 14th that I'm super excited for.
That's it, Funk and Waffles.
Funk and Waffles. So I'll start off with my cliche artist questions. How long you been doing music?
Man, I mean, I've been doing music for 10, 15 years. I mean, ever since middle school, I've been writing raps. Started recording on this thing called Audacity. Do you remember Audacity?
Yeah, I know Audacity. I was a Mixcraft guy.
Yeah? Nice. So I had that. I had like some crappy mic I'd mess around with back in the day. And soon when I hit college, that's when I recorded my first mixtape. That was like 2014 time.
Okay.
That was just a bunch of verses that I did, like a bunch of remix songs, but made it like a mixtape thing.
Gotcha.
Put it on SoundCloud. And then from there, another mixtape.
Is that still available?
That's still out there.
Is that?
I like people having the old stuff.
They got to see where you start. They like the growth.
It's disgusting. Like, it's so bad. Like, I think the lyricism is there, but when you listen to it's just
you just feel like
I got this nasally voice, and I don't know my delivery at all, and it sound but like you hear some of the bars and you're like, that was witty, but then you'll be like, that was really corny too, But
I think we all think that about ourselves. I know I feel that way about myself. Like,
yeah,
all
for
the
sure.
So was that your first project in 2014? That was the first thing you really ever released?
Yeah.
And you said that's still...
Yeah, so 2014. I mean, I had some like other songs that I released on YouTube, like when I was first really figuring out. I didn't like release things back then. Like, it was more so like on my computer with my buddy.
Yeah, I got you.
And got to the point where I was like, I want to start releasing this. And I think I really started going harder once I went and worked at iHeartMedia right out of college. And I said, man, I don't want to. I went to school for broadcasting.
Okay, yeah, that was one of the questions. Where'd you go to high school and college?
I went to Fabius Pompey for high school. For college, I went to OCC for 2 years.
Alrighty.
And that's where I was like, making my mixtapes. I then went to Oswego to finish out my degree in broadcasting for the 4-year bachelor's.
Okay.
And that's where I was like, I had an identity crisis. I was like, I don't even know if I want to do music. I don't know. I don't even know if I want my degree. Like, I don't know where I want to go. But then I got out of college and then realized, like, I really want to do music. It just feels like it's not possible, but like it is in this day and age. I saw like Russ, with the internet.
Oh, he's one of my biggest inspirations on how I operate, on how it's like, it's actually possible.
It's possible. And so once, you got to that point of like, wait, these social media platforms, if utilized properly, like you can get your name out there. So
I'm trying to figure out, I've learned I'm a better live networker than I am online networker.
Okay.
From my perspective personally, my online presence, I don't think has built like my.
It's tough to have the online presence, but that's good. Like, and nothing beats in person. I think at the end of the day, if you can't be that person and you're just fronting online, it's like, can you really?
I think I'm just too illiterate for online too. Like, I need somebody to proofread all my online shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
So how'd you link up with After Dark?
So After Dark, I mean, my boy Nick Masita. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he was doing like shows out in like Syracuse University. But I actually linked up with After Dark back in like 2018 with a different guy named Patrick, and he was doing some like thing. Do you remember Spark Art Center?
That sounds super familiar.
They had it open for like a couple years. It's closed. It's no longer a thing.
Super familiar.
Yeah, but he was doing a show there. I went to the show. And then I was just like, who booked this? I want to meet the guy. And met the guy. I said, hey, I do music. I'd love to put on a show. He said, message me. Well, whatever. And I mean, that was just a lesson in my life of like, dude, don't be afraid to just say, like, I do this. I want to do this. And you said in-person, networking stuff like that. I mean, I'm trying to be just the Swiss Army knife on all fronts. I don't want to, I don't want to have a weakness. I work my ass. I mean, you got to work your ass off. You get it. You understand. Oh. So
you got to be a quadtuple.
It's almost sometimes impossible to manage by yourself.
100% is.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, I got, my
There you
buddies
go.
behind the work, and
That's it.
I work with an immense amount of people who help make this thing happen for me.
That's awesome. You got to.
Yeah, and even, shout out to After Dark. They're a part of that. That energy. They put together.
Yep.
Now, do you because is this your first headlining show?
I've had some at Syracuse University. I think I've done 2 other headliner shows,
Okay.
maybe 3 at this point. I don't know. I forget through the years, but I've had a couple of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just curious. It's like I'm assuming After Dark because they reach out to me and stuff about like shows, and you didn't have any like dictation on who was on the opening up, did you? I'm assuming.
I actually did.
Oh, did you?
Because but what happened was the people that I actually asked to be on the show, they were just busy, so I said, nah, let's just go.
Dude, hell yeah, I'm the runner-up of every. Dude, I'm always a good runner-up, man.
I love. Well, not even a runner-up. I mean, I knew of you because of you worked with Mike O'Leary.
Yeah.
And so but I didn't realize, put 2 and 2 together, that the guy on the poster was also that until all of a sudden you reached out to me. I'm like, wait, that's that same guy.
Okay.
And then I finally put it together.
What, the song with Michael O'Leary or the podcast?
The song and the podcast.
Okay, yeah.
I've seen both things, yeah.
Yeah, Mike's a good dude.
That's my guy, man.
Okay. Dude, I feel like I met you before. Could I have met you through him possibly, at one of his shows?
You might have.
Have you gone to any Bugging Out show?
Yes.
I've gone to every Bugging Out show.
You've been there?
Yeah,
Okay.
every single Bugging Out show. So I've at least seen, I felt like when I saw the flyer, I'm like, I know this kid from somewhere.
Were you at the one at King's?
I've never missed a Bugging Out show.
Okay. So then we were probably
Especially
there.
local. I don't know if they've done any. I think they did a couple out of town ones that I didn't go to.
Okay, well that's fair. But
So
you've been everything here.
Never missed a local show.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely the one at King's, the one where that big dude was holding them up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. They had the tall off, the 2, Jordan and one of the other tall guys. They were saying who's taller.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, but
I vaguely remember that. I party a little too hard, unfortunately.
that's fair, man. That's fair.
But I've tried to always reach out whenever I'm on lineups like this to the other acts. Have you do you know who Flowjack is or any of the other 2?
I haven't. I'm almost glad that I didn't get to pick because I'm stuff like this, man. This wouldn't have happened if it weren't for that. So
because it would have already been your homies. So it's
didn't know Flowjack, didn't know Boots.
I've been trying to reach out to them, but they're I can't find them, unfortunately.
Okay, I actually found a couple of
I have their emails, and if you can before we leave, I would love that.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to reach out to them and just try to just again. I love chopping it up beforehand.
100%. I got you, man.
Have you done funk? Have you performed at Funk Waffles before?
Yeah.
Okay.
5. This might be my 5th time now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it there. It's one of my few. Westcott and Funk are my 2 favorite local joints.
I've never performed at Westcott.
Love it there. It's the stage is what I define as baby bear porridge. It's it's not too big and it's not too small.
Right.
It's enough to where especially if you get a chance to get the whole stage for yourself. Every time I've done it, they've had a big drum kit or something on there, which fucks up my my stage aesthetic.
Gotcha. Who did you do it with? What was the show?
I've done a bunch of shows there.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I opened up for Webby there. I've opened up for Riff there.
Did you just open up for Webby?
Yeah,
so you were with Furco? Furco?
I mean, we had our own sets, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know you weren't on the stage with him, but I'm saying.
But no, yeah, Furco was on that lineup as well.
Word, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought, don't you kick with Furco and them too?
Yeah, I know Furc.
Yeah, I felt like that. Yeah. They were you guys were kind of in a similar
That's it, man. I mean,
do you actually kick it with Furco and shit like that, or
I've kicked with him a couple times. I mean, we did a show back in 2018 together. He was on the lineup, but I mean, I wouldn't say I kick it with him all the time. But we are very familiar with who each other is.
But
we've been talking about we need to get a song. We just haven't.
It's always, that's honestly one of the reasons I created this platform is to guarantee my because I have a podcast with Furco. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of respect for.
You have a podcast with him?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, me and Furco did one.
Oh, I love that. I love that
because I can't remember what song he was promoting at the time, but I love reaching out to artists, especially because our sounds are completely. Me and Furco's sound are so different, and not that we couldn't find a sound that would work, but there's a lot of artists I'm never sure the angle to approach us working together.
Yeah.
So that's why I always wanted to create this so I can at least like have something with all the artists I have respect for and like
that's dope.
Admire their work ethic.
So
and all
you're
that
saying
shit.
you had an episode with Furco?
Yeah.
I thought you meant you had a whole other podcast with Furco.
No. I have an episode of it. My apologies.
All right, that's where I was like,
the only other
you're
podcast.
busy.
No, the only other podcast I produced. Do you know who Ian is? Ian Brutal Face. He was like big into like booking more like indie bands, and now he's the CA Network.
Okay,
The Controlled
no.
Accident. Frank White Experience.
Frank, what?
Have you heard that? By any chance? It's like, you know, Fistafunk is, E-Man and all them.
So Fistafunk, yeah, I've heard
So
that.
the drummer for Fistafunk is in another group called the Frank White Experience, which is a live Biggie tribute.
Yep.
Anyways, lost track where I was going because of the tangent. I used to produce a different, more like a political conspiracy theory podcast for somebody
Interesting.
else. I do have another show coming up, but that is irrelevant because we're talking about Zak G today.
That's cool though, man. You're busy out here. Cool.
I try to stay working because just like I only make music when I want to make music.
Okay.
And so I don't like go to the demand of the modern.
Well, listen, you got the Shures, so I know you're serious about this.
Dude, I got dude. I
Nice
went
setup,
hard on
man.
these. I'm trying to get the cameras upgraded. I'm glad he actually pointed out. I'm sorry if you're picking it up, but those headphones are a little crunchy.
Nah, I don't mind it.
I
I like a good crunch.
I'm upgrading the headphones soon, so I
Nice.
apologize.
No,
for
you're
that.
good, man. I mean, sounds good to me.
I know I had a few more for you.
Sure.
I heard that Christmas joint you dropped. That was a fun one.
It's a Zak G Christmas,
It's a
baby.
Zak G Christmas. If you
I'm
haven't,
so happy that's over. I'll be honest. Dude, I mean, it was a lot of work. So
'Cause
like I went
you
to the mall
prepped it.
dressed as Santa and just decided to like rap my song to a bunch of random people, which was so fun, by the way. Like I was only in the mall.
Did you film that?
I filmed it. I was only in the mall for 30 minutes. It did like 5 interviews, met Santa Claus, got kicked out by security. Like all these things happened and it was just like so much content and all I was there for is 30 minutes and I was like, we got like a whole thing. So I made it's a Zak G Christmas movie on YouTube of me going through the mall at Destiny Mall and interviewing random people.
That's
like,
out? That's on your
that's
channel?
out.
Oh, I didn't see that up there.
And I go like, what's your favorite Christmas song? And they tell me, I'm like, okay, well, I got, do you like hip hop music? Like, I don't care if they do or not. I'm like, oh, I'm going to show you a song. You know what I mean?
Do you know who like a locksmith is?
Oh, yeah.
You ever see how he does his like Uber?
I haven't seen that. I know
like-
Locksmith, but
Yeah, he Ubers, and then he'll just like, guess what? You're also getting a free locksmith concert,
that's sick.
kind of.
That's
I mean,
sick.
he's usually respectful about it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
can I rap for you guys? And
That's
then-
the same thing. I
Yeah.
mean, I was respectful with it.
And now you're like, listen. And
Yeah,
just
and so like it was cool, right? It was cool making this thing, but the work afterwards was insane.
So
Like
that's-
to edit through all that content, and I'm someone who's very obsessive of like take out each breath and take out the ums and like make this sentence. If I'm stammering here, I'm gonna take that out too to make it so it's like. First of all, I did the normal cut that's like 15 minutes long, the movie of me going through the mall. That's on YouTube. But then I took that again and said, I made like 7 reels out of it, all like minute long things of like me doing the highlights of that.
Of course.
Put them all on Instagram and TikTok and like posted in the morning and the night for the like 3 days leading up to Christmas. And it was a lot. Dude,
So-
it was a lot.
I'm getting in a better habit of doing it here myself with all that. You know, we do this such a long form, and I try even to chop this up sometimes so it seems a little bit more fluent and a little less, like you said, the ums. If you watch my old episodes, I used to like a motherfucker. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, dude, stop umming. It's so bad.
You just get better with time every single time.
You know, and I try to keep it more organic too. I don't like to script too much and like put too many questions down, which is it's got a 50-50 for it's not a very good interviewer thing, but as far as just actually getting to know people, you know what I'm saying?
I think that's cool though. I like the genuine, raw, you know, just seeing who the person is. At the end of the day, that's what this is about, right?
Yeah, I did that with another artist just the other day, and
It didn't work. What happened with that? Am I able to ask you?
I guess I mean
I'm
I'll
curious.
chalk it up to alcohol is very toxic. Alcohol is super toxic.
Yeah.
Homie got emotional. And is going through a lot, and we didn't know how to handle him in that state.
Oh my goodness.
And he's a big fella.
Was he like? Was it like laughing fun, or was it like he got angry?
No, it was aggressive.
Okay.
It got aggressive.
So it wasn't.
No, it got
fun
violent.
time.
It got violent.
Were you here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the sober one.
Oh.
I was home.
He had to come back.
I came
had to
back
come
to
back.
be the DD.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
So you were here during? You weren't here during? Or you
No,
here?
I was. So when
Okay,
they did the podcast, I was here. It was fun. The podcast was good. There wasn't. But then after that,
It got weird.
I mean, he drank a whole bottle of Hennessy.
Oh my!
So it
gosh.
wasn't just like a beer or two. I get it. Some people can't handle that. No, I mean, the guy drank alcohol.
Wow.
It was a hectic night. I tried to avoid that. It was mad funny. I could tell when I asked him to do another one so soon. And because, obviously, as you know, I'm doing this out of my house right now. I used to have an office, but believe it or not, that got robbed when I had an office. So I moved out of the office and came here.
Can't have nice things in Syracuse, man.
Really can't.
It's tough.
You got any big projects coming up?
So I got so many songs that I think are like hitters, like they're really good.
Okay.
I've just like hit my stride with like my sound and music and all that. I dropped The Awakening Theory in May. That was my latest project. That was all produced, engineered, recorded out of my own home studio.
Did you do the Christmas thing out of your home studio?
Christmas, yeah. It was
That's funny. He was flexing how well that sounded.
Thank you, man. Yo, literally December 6th, I just like was randomly like, I want to make a random Christmas song. And it was like, first I was just doing that cover and I'm like, wait, what if I just flip this into like a Tyga sounding? Like that was the thing in my head was like, let me give that like too much, make the ride too hard. Like I wanted to give that Tyga delivery, but then I wanted to give it into like, Christmas, about Christmas. She put the hoe in the hotel. My mom hates that lyric, by the way. But yeah, man, I've been working hard. I produce my own stuff, but I also like to collaborate with other people because that's why Kanye is the best producer, because he collaborates and he's good with collaboration.
I think a lot of people don't realize that when they hear like you produce your own stuff. Like even Russ works with other engineers.
People don't
beat
get
makers.
that.
And they hear the word producer and they think beat maker.
Yeah.
They think you made the beat.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize like that man right there is a producer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and I do a lot of things. Like I'll work with some other artists producing, but they're like saying, "Hey, where's your beat store?" I'm like, "I don't have a beat store." Like, you work with me. Let's like tailor a
so
sound.
do you make actual beats though?
I make beats.
So,
yeah,
okay.
like The Awakening Theory was all my production, beats, arrangement, engineering, and I worked with this guy Lorenzo out of Candy Shop Studio, and
Where's
so.
that?
That's on Burnett, 123 Burnett. It was More Sound Studios.
Okay, I knew it as More Sounds.
Yep. And so now it was his. I think he's moving out of the area soon, but
I didn't know that they changed the name. Or is that just like what he calls his?
they ended up like taking it over and rebranding and whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, it's Lorenzo, Aaron Rizzo. I'm trying to think of the other guys. Lorenzo always talks about the other people. Justin is the other guy there, and they're all really ridiculously good, like producer engineer guys. But anyways, yeah. So he helped me kind of like finish my thoughts. I had all these like half finished songs, and there was some things in the engineering. I'm someone who has to do like put my hand in the production, the engineering, if the engineering isn't right, I might not be able to finish the arrangement and the production because I need this sounding clean first. I do things in weird orders. And then once he came in, I was like, I got surgery on my hip and I couldn't go to their studio. I was like, dude, here's what I want to do. I want you to come to my studio at my house. Let me be the hands. I use Logic Pro, by the way. I was like, I just want you to kind of like walk me through what you would do with these plugins that I have with my software to give me like, and I paid him, said, hey, like I'll pay you for your time, whatever. He comes through, kind of directs me, says, hey, EQ this, hey, compress this. I already knew how to engineer to an extent, but once I stepped into that arena, it really leveled up my engineering. And then it got me to a point, once I delivered that, I was like, okay, if I know how to do this for myself, might as well give this to other artists as well. So now I've started the Zak G Entertainment LLC where I record other artists, I engineer for them, I can produce, I can, so many different things, I wouldn't say I'm the best producer. I like to collaborate with other people to like inspire me first, but the engineer, I can make things sound clean, man. And I've like you said, like I dropped that, it's a Zak G Christmas, it sounds really good. That has just become like reflex just to like really quickly put something together and make it sound good. Like
I wish I hate engineering. So I can never do that for myself. Like I've tried to do the recording and engineering thing, and it just always like.
You know why I did it? Out of necessity. I need to save money and I need to make money. And I said, I can't do this anymore, man. I if I'm going to survive in this as an artist, it's like
you got to have, everything is in-house as possible, and that makes you as valuable as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you go at the end of the day and they're giving you X amount to make songs, how much of that are you going to be able to give to yourself?
that's it. And what's dope about it too is I have an artist come in, I work with them, I record them. Not only am I recording them, making their track sound good, I can come from that other perspective of like, nah, say it like this, do it like this. Maybe this lyrics, oh, you're like going too much. You need to take out that and so you can take a breath here, so you can really deliver this line. Like the things that another engineer might just be like, dope. Did you like? They'll be like, did you like that?
Yeah. What do you want to do next? And it's like sometimes as an artist, you're like, oh, I don't know what I want to even do next. Maybe like you're listening to it. And I'm sure as an artist, you're your worst critic. So you're like, this sounds bad. I don't like how this sounds. As a third perspective, like you're saying, like you can chime in. You can be like, it might sound cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you've, like you said, you've made music.
And that's the thing, man. Working with Zak G, it's not like we're going to get 5 songs done in a couple hours. It's like we're focusing on one song for 3 to 4 hours, and we're going to make sure, like, I'm going to do all the transitions. I'm going to cut the beat out. I'm going to do this stutter thing on your voice. Like, I get so meticulous with it. There's no way to just do one song. I can't just do, like, a cookie cutter, like, record me, make me sound nice. I guess you could if you asked me to, but it's also, like, that's not what I want to do.
I've learned you can record a proper verse in an hour.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think as an artist, you should be able to, like, and not should, obviously. I've wasted plenty hours in being like, oh, this ain't it, this ain't it, this ain't it.
I think, but when
not as
I
far
do,
as mixing and mastering.
That's what I was just going to say.
That's a whole different ballgame.
That's what I was going to say. So I like to do recording and I'm mixing, and like you record and then you kind of sit down, like take a moment, let me kind of like get the mixing up to snuff, and then I'll be like, all right, let's record this part, and like it just gives me like a direction as to where it's going. Something about the mixing in my mind allows me to like figure out the recording and the production, where we should do it. Like I do things in weird, like my process is very haphazard. It's like, why,
but I'm sure if you learn this, there's no real way to do it. You just got to figure out,
Yeah.
You know who like the Russell is, the artist. He's blowing up now.
Oh yeah, is it La Russell? I thought it was L.A. Russell.
Is it L.A. Russell?
I don't know.
I don't either, but you know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
He had this saying I really like. He's like, you want a hole, you got to start digging. That's all we know.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that, brother. And that's what we're doing here.
100%, man. There I am with them fucking ums.
No, it's okay. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Who's your biggest inspiration currently?
Donald Glover, Childish Gambino. The fact that he can do anything creatively, entertainment-wise.
So I'm assuming you watch Atlanta and all that shit, right?
Yes.
Holy fuck. Dude.
I've done everything with Atlanta and his community. I watched a little bit of that, but it was more so like all his music, BTI, because of the internet, Camp. I was on him so early when he was doing Do
I was
You
shown
Like?
that like a while ago. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a fan when that came out.
I mean, I was back in the day. If I listen to it now, I'm like, I don't like it.
I like it more now than I did back in the day.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Because I'm such a big fan now. But that brings me back to like what you're talking about with your old stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People are gonna be such a big fan that they're gonna go back and they're gonna be like, damn, dude, this is.
Yeah. He's a creative genius. I just love how he can create in any way possible. I think I get it from my mom. She's a writer. And she went to school for like soap opera writing, whatever. She was down in New York City, went to NYU and did all that. And so now she writes books. She's an author. I get that from my mom. So I think
that's amazing. What has she written?
She writes these books. It was like a Christian novel thing, but I think she's trying to get away from that now because she doesn't like the label of it.
That makes sense.
I think she just wants to create without boundaries. But I'm very much like that too. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny because like she'll go up to her room, start typing on her laptop, writing, and I go down to my little basement studio, and like we're both like just in our own worlds.
That must be the way I perceive creativity. That must be an incredible environment for a muse, if you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you dabble into that perception of creativity, like the muse is just like the creative energy.
The energy, yeah.
So with both of you just like putting that fucking antenna up
That's it.
I wonder if you've ever catch yourself like in a room writing with another artist and you guys haven't said anything, but then you go and rap and like you have words that are the same and like certain
just
things
makes
that
sense, yeah.
Like have you guys ever felt like I wonder if you've ever compared your writing with hers when that you've written at a similar time.
You're saying with my mom?
Yeah.
I mean, I know for a fact she's listened to some of my songs and been like, wow, this is actually pretty interesting. I don't think we just write, like, again, she writes 700-page books.
Yeah, it's
like,
way different.
I write music, you know, so it's a little different medium. But I did end up writing a 50-page screenplay with my album Lucid Dreams, which was the one before The Awakening Theory. That was 2020. And it was because COVID hit. I had all these songs that were all singles, and I was like, I want to put it together as a compilation album, but I didn't just want to re-release them because they're already released. Needed a new way of doing it. So I was like, how about I write a 50-page screenplay? It wasn't 50, I just said a screenplay. It just ended up being 50 pages, but where each song is like a scene, like it's the theme song to each scene that's happening, and you read it, and it gives you directions like play this song for this, and this is the song to have in mind when this scene is playing, kind of thing. And I did it kind of like inspired by Donald Glover, which wrote Because the Internet, he dropped that album. There was also a screenplay along with that you're supposed to read in tune with the album that he wrote.
Okay, Mac Miller did something similar with Good AM.
He's got something he wrote with that?
Like the Good AM album.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Mac albums.
If you bought the cereal box version that they sold at Target, it came with like a box of cereal and a map to listen to the album.
That's interesting.
Like you eat the cereal, listen to track like 6.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
And you have the cereal box?
I don't have it anymore. Years ago, it was when the album came out.
Yeah.
And
that's so sick.
You eat the bowl of cereal, then you like smoke a bowl, listen to track 9 and shit like that. It was like a...
Yeah. That kind of gives you listening directions. This was not only listening directions, but like a whole story written.
I was just...
Yeah,
comparing,
but no, 100%. It's kind of that whole thing of the direction. Yeah.
Any other big inspirations besides?
I mean, you said Mac, Kanye. I would say Kendrick, Tyler the Creator.
Okay, so you're all over the platform, just like I am. You're just like good art.
Yeah, I like good art, man. I like the guys that are like they don't fit in the stereotypical box. They're their own guy. Like Tyler is so unique, bro. Like there's no one on the world
since day one. We've always been like, wow, what is this dude?
But you know what's crazy is Tyler and Mac. Day one, I was not into either of them. I thought Mac, frat boy, annoying rapper. I thought
I could see that perception.
Tyler, shock value, just doing things for clickbait, whatever.
I had those same exact thoughts.
And you know what? That's what got the attention on them at first. They're smart marketers. But really at the end of the day, Mac and Tyler, deep in their hearts, were like, I want to make true music. And they got to that point and they pushed it towards that, you know?
That last Mac album was something fucking
crazy.
Something crazy.
You're saying the posthumous one? Or are you talking about Swimming?
Swimming.
Yeah, Swimming's, I love that.
Swimming.
Yeah, Circles is it Circles?
I'm not sure what.
Yeah, that's the posthumous one. But the Swimming is that's my thing.
That shit, that was gold.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of, I know I had a couple more that popped up in the midst of saying things, but I was very intrigued by your mother being an author and all that stuff.
Yeah, man. Creativity, it just happens, man, in my with her. And I think I get my extrovertedness from my father. So it's like a mix. Like my mom is the creative introvert. My dad is the more like socially creative person. Okay. And in the action, so I get like the best of both worlds from my parents in the sense of like, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be extroverted without my dad. I wouldn't be creative without my mom. And I feel like I can be that Swiss Army knife that can network, but also,
You ever thought of making a song called Swiss Army Knife?
Shit, I might have to after this. Yeah. I said it a lot, haven't I?
But I like that concept. Like I said, I want to work on a song called Baby Bear Porridge.
Okay.
I want to get Young Gravy for it because I just feel like in my mind, but I say the phrase Baby Bear Porridge a lot and do it like, what's Baby Bear Porridge? Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean?
You don't know what Baby Bear Porridge is?
No.
You know what Mama Bear Porridge is?
Oh, porridge. I thought you said porch.
No,
like, what is Baby Bear's porch?
What's Baby Bear's porch? Well, I bet you Baby Bear's porch is the same thing because what is Baby Bear's shit? Baby Bear's bed was
small, small.
Mama's bear was all right. What was Mama Bear's porridge? It's too cold.
cold.
Papa Bears is too hot.
Too hot.
Baby Bears is just right.
Oh, so Baby Bear was the one that was just right. It's been a while.
Everything Baby
since I've
Bear
heard
had
that.
was just right.
Okay, so
I
it was
say-
Baby Bear that had just right.
Yeah, Baby Bear shit was
right.
just right. I got a theory behind that too, like why Baby Bear porridge is just right.
Okay, why?
Because like, all right, Papa Bears is hot because he gets it first.
Okay.
Mama Bears is cold because she gets it last. Baby Bears is just at that right temperature because you care about the kid the most.
Right.
And then Papa Bear usually eats first because he's just, I don't know, traditional, I guess, household standards.
Very interesting.
I guess that's a very conservative perspective.
Yeah.
But again, when that story came out, it was a fucking while ago.
Yeah, for sure, man. And you wonder, like, with those innocent kid books, like, are they really thinking that deep about it? They probably are.
Yeah, or
Probably
they're just
are.
painting a picture of normal. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's 50-50. You can subscribe to the theories of programming and all that shit, or
Yeah.
you can just think of it as a nice childhood story.
For sure, man. For sure. There's always deeper things with things, I feel. Even if it's not even intended, it's like they're thinking something.
Oh, yeah.
Something's in their head.
And I'm sure you've learned as creating, sometimes you get a piece of art you didn't even know realize you were making at first. And you're
100.
like, holy shit. This is even like,
There's deeper layers to this. I was actually talking to Mike about this recently. I was like, I'll make a song and I'm like, yo, this means this. And this is just like, a simple song. I got it. I made a song with Levi the Jedi. Shout out Levi, by the way. And that song, is just about like self-confidence. You know what I mean? And then you break down some of the lyrics and you're really hearing it in that perspective of like, sometimes you can't listen to your music as a consumer. It's like hard to get in that mind frame, because you're so used to listening to it as the artist and breaking it down and stuff. So in those moments where you can listen to it like a normal person would listen to it, like I feel like it opens your mind to be like, oh, I also meant it like that. It's crazy, man.
and then you get other people's interpretations on it too. And you're like, oh, I didn't even think about it that
Yeah.
way. And like, I'm glad you, or have you ever had somebody interpret a line completely different as you wrote it?
Yeah.
But then it worked for them, and I was like, all right, yeah, keep it that way.
Yeah,
keep it that way in your
100%.
mind. I'm like, that's not what I said, but
I think that's why a lot of the times I like to keep things open-ended. I don't like to flat out say something unless I really need to say it like that. But I want my music, not only to help. I feel like at the end of the day, I want it to help me and help me grow as a man. Like that's really the reason I do music. But in the process of that, I want it to grow other people as well.
100%. One of my biggest goals is to inspire. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's it.
I want to spark other people. Like
Yep.
I know what sparked me to do all this.
Yeah.
I pray to be an eighth of that for somebody else. You know what
sure.
I'm saying? Like with Childish Gambino, like dude, that dude makes me. It's a 50-50. It's almost discouraging how fucking talented and how smart and creative that man is. Because I'm like, fuck, I am lacking right now,
Yeah.
dude. Because I got these
That's
little
crazy,
I got
man.
these little cameras right here, dude. He's literally Atlanta is one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. I truly agree. I think everything this man does, he just gets better with creativity as he goes.
I'm sure a lot of people don't like the little off story episodes, but those are still super creative and artsy. And it's like, if you don't realize who's making this right now, that's why you don't understand what's happening.
I almost wish he just saved those off stories for another show. Like, it wasn't in the Atlanta.
But I mean, it's representing what the perspective of Atlanta is like.
Understood. Yeah.
It's not just supposed to be that. Like the stories what pitched it and what probably got him funding. And then those little things are just his like perceptions of.
I wonder if I was actually talking about this. Me and my sister watched the show together, and I was saying this. Maybe he did those other offshoot shows to like that's like his pitch for like the next show he wants to do. He's like, I also did these, but I also did these offshoots, and it shows that you can't put me in a box with just these characters, this thing. It's like, and yeah, the themes are generally the same throughout, and it furthers the conversation of what he's trying to portray. But at the same time, I feel like he's doing those off episodes to show like, oh, I can also do this style and this, whatever.
That's why he made Atlanta too, from my understanding, is that he was done like with the character that they painted him in Community.
Yeah.
And was like, I wanted.
But like ending of season 3, that was like so Kill Bill-esque with that van just going full with like the bread. You know what I'm talking about? She had the long bread, and she was like, or did you not get that far?
In Atlanta? I've seen every episode. I'm drawing a blank on this.
It's where Van just goes crazy in Europe at this season finale, and she's like nuts, and she has this French accent, and she has this big baguette on her back.
I like.
And she
I'm
beats a
remembering it,
dude
but I
up
don't.
with this stale bread. She just beats a guy to shit with it.
I do remember it, but the last season was so all over the place too. It was hard for me to follow, like with homie with the sleep deprivation tank and shit like that.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of him as an actor too. He's very talented. You know what I'm talking about? But actually, every actor from that show, the dude who plays his cousin, he was just like in Bullet Train and shit like that.
Okay.
I don't know if you follow like movies and things like that.
Paperboy, you're saying?
Paperboy, the artist the actor who plays Paperboy, has made a phenomenal career.
He's been working at it. And so what's the other guy that's pretty famous? I mean, he's been Lakeith Stanfield.
Is that his name?
That's
his real name, isn't
Darius.
It, right? Yeah, Darius is.
He's been big.
He has been big, but I think that really like showed people is like
he's really
he's just good. Something about him's just good. He didn't even have like it's not like he was like an immense actor in it. He just did well.
Yeah.
If you what's some of your dream features right now? Like if you work with any artist who's on your who's on that vision board right now?
You know, I grew up listening to Ludacris.
Dude, if you don't want a Ludacris, you can't be on this feature. You can't be on this podcast.
I want Ludacris so bad, man. He was the reason I started.
Really?
Well, I think Childish was too, because like I was kind of but I was like making music at first because of Ludacris, but then Childish was like, oh, I really want to do this.
First time I got caught swearing was to Ludacris.
No shit.
Move, bitch. Get out the way.
Funny,
if you do 100 or if you do the speed limit, get the fuck out of my way. My mom walked in. She's like, James.
Like I feel like the features I just want from like me personally.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about what it could be the most worst song ever. Like I don't care. Like I just want to be able to say I worked with Luda. That's fire.
100%. That's the reason I worked with the artists I've worked with and shit. Just because like
I think me and Tyler would make a really Tyler and Kendrick. I feel like they're the two guys. I'd love to work with Andre. 3 Stacks. I'd love to just get him out of his hermit hole, like he did with Life of the Party with Kanye. At this point, with where Kanye's at mentally, I don't know if I want to work with him right now. I might wait for him to simmer down a little bit. I don't need that publicity right now, you know.
I feel you there. With I was gonna make a joke about it when you mentioned him in like somebody of one of your inspirations, just because a lot of people are giving him a lot of backlash. But we're talking about art here, not individuals.
That's kind of the thing, but also at the same time, he just doesn't know how to communicate his thoughts, and it gets us talking about him.
It's a 50-50. I never know if it's like a part of the gimmick or if it's just the universal pattern of how his art ends up working out.
Yeah, I just think it's him. I think he's literally nuts.
Dude, I mean, imagine it. Sometimes I'm super happy for my failures, dude. Because if I was as successful as some of these artists, I'd understand why they get the egos they get.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I have to check myself sometimes, dude. And I have to be like, no, you're not that cool, bud. You're still local.
What did he say recently? He's like, I'm not bipolar. I'm autistic.
Autistic, yeah.
I was like, wait, wasn't he just in 2017? He had a whole album where it's called Yay.
He had an album called I'm Bipolar. I hate. All right, I love
being bipolar.
I hate being bipolar. It's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah. But that was Yay. It said that on the cover of it.
That was a good album. I like that album.
I love that album.
I had some hits. Though.
Yeah. Yeah. So like he was so championing that. Now all of a sudden he's saying, I'm actually not that, but I might be a little autistic though. I'm just like, yo, Kanye. What the heck?
Just chill, bud. Just don't even worry about nothing. Like,
he's crazy, man. But anyways, I still respect the dude for what he's done in hip hop. It's just like,
you hear the you fuck with Jid and all them, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, his new album was dope. You
hear the Jid, Ludacris, and what's his name? Kanye with the Machine song that just came out not too long ago in the last year or two?
No.
Conway the Machine, you know who that is, right?
Oh, yeah, Conway. I thought you said Kanye. I was like,
Conway the Machine from Griselda.
Yeah.
It's him, Jid, and Luda. That's a hit. That's one of my favorite songs. I brush my teeth to that shit, dude.
No shit. Yeah, I gotta.
And that's why when you said Luda, I was like, dude, Luda's still working too.
Luda's crazy, man.
And Ludacris and Jid, like that's another. I mean, that's why I like to, even kind of brought it up is because Conway's another upstate artist as well. Just to see it's real. See it's real, and it's irrelevant to where people like to blame it from like where they're from or whatnot and shit, and that's not the case, as you've seen. You know what I'm saying? You out here working.
You're saying that it doesn't matter where you're from?
Yeah,
or
it doesn't matter. Like a lot of people like to blame where they're from for why they can't do certain shit.
I almost think I want to champion where I'm from and show that it's that's like such a big thing for me.
One of the reasons I will never move out of here.
Yeah.
It's because I would show motherfuckers like, nah, dude. And it's all possible here. Everything's possible. Obviously, you got to branch out, but
I think the thing is the ego. You know what I mean? Not allowing that to get too big. And just being open to work and collaborate with everybody and make it a scene, make it a movement. That's where I think people are really lacking in our area is like they're too proud or think they're too good for this person to work with this person. I just think like we got to get out of the mindset of like we're stronger not working with certain people because I don't buy that.
I used to be a big I'd work with anybody person because I believed that same thing until I've learned the mistakes of working with the wrong people.
I think you need to know.
So that's where I've gotten, like, I'm trying to figure out my boundaries and balance of who is and who isn't.
And I think it's also knowing how to work with people.
That's
you know
a
what
big
I mean?
factor.
Because it might be like, just like, I work with this person in this context, right? Like they bring value in this way. You got to know the person, like how you can put them on, right? Like it could be as simple as like this artist, they might not, I don't know, we might not vibe in the studio. It might be like, I need my distance in this way because of how, whatever vibes. But maybe it's like, come to this event, to this show. I'm going to be out in this spot right now. And they come there, there's other artists there, and you tell them like, yo, network. Like, you're giving them value in a more indirect way. You know what I mean?
But that's you seeing the bigger picture, because I've gotten into a lot of issues with like artists who don't realize that I'm trying to do that right there for them too. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, this invitation is for you to see, like you said, you went to that show. Yeah. You're like, who put this on? Mm-hmm. That's the exact way I got on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to shows. I'm like, you know what? I guarantee there's a person in this building who's in charge of organizing this event.
Yes.
Go up to them, be like, yo, and
yeah, you gotta encourage people to get out of their shell up here, man. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, we got the cold, we got a lot of distance. It's not like it's like New York City where everybody's just right there in a web. It's like,
yeah, we're 100, 200 person shows and easy.
Dude, I live in Pompey, New York. I drove 30 minutes to get here. It's like sometimes, you don't have the mode of transportation. Sometimes you don't have, it just makes it harder for the web of this area to be connected. So I think like that's why it's all the more important that we're supporting each other in this. And it doesn't even, right? It can be a like, as simple as a like and a comment. It could be like, dude, like, just appreciate you, keep going. Like little things like that. Like collaboration doesn't have to be like, yo, we're going to hop on a song right now. I think that has to be right timing, right place, right song, right whatever. Like I'm not going to make a song unless I'm like, this is, I truly believe in this, and I you know what I mean, like
100%. No, that's
I
get what you're saying.
Yeah,
no,
so now I'm not saying,
back on you. I'm back on with you.
I'm not saying like, yo, just like do features with everybody. I'm saying like network with everybody, know everybody, build and establish relationships with everybody. It's beneficial for both of you to be talking and like an understanding of each other.
And just remember, we're all growing. Like, so it's like you were here at one point, and if this person's here, when we want to. Like, I've always tried to yank people to be up here. I don't know. My metric is going this way right now when I should use like a scale this way.
Yeah. Well, no, but I get it, man. It's like also like this, right? Like Michael Leary is my DJ. He's been doing my DJ shit for my shows. He's like, yo, I'm your DJ. I'm like, you are 100% my DJ. There's certain moments where Michael Leary's busy and I need a DJ and he's not there. He gets it. You know what I mean? There's no ego there. It's just like, you gotta get to what you're doing.
I try to get Mike to DJ for me.
Yeah,
and it's always been a wavy situation. So you know who DJ Gita is?
DJ G'd?
Gita.
No.
Geda.
Okay.
Yeah, he's my one of my favorites in Syracuse. So by the way, if you ever need somebody when Mike's not around,
that's fine.
I'll link you up with him after the show because
I appreciate.
He's incredible.
Yeah, man.
He's incredible.
The thing with Mike, he's tough because he's doing like seven different things at once.
I know he's in a million different places, but that's what I'm saying. It's always been just a communication in timing thing.
For sure.
Because he was actually he was going to DJ when I opened up for Riff at the Westcott.
Oh, no shit.
But that show was dog shit anyway.
Was it bad?
Dude, it made me get a perspective on Syracuse though, because like when we did like shows down in North Carolina, our smallest show was 200. We did I think 25 at the 25 people at the Westcott.
Right. Wow. There was only 25 there? Or?
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't cancel the fucking show.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The fact he still went on was crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts to me.
Well, he probably did 2 songs.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then just left, right?
but
He put his glove on.
but I mean, I know have you heard the numbers on this so far? The sales on this show so far?
Yeah, I think we're at like 70 something.
No, we broke 100. I know
We
that
already
last
break
I
100?
checked. Yeah, so
Okay.
we broke 100.
There you go.
Hopefully we can, I'm hoping, I want this to be the first sold out show I've ever done at Funk and Waffles with
Love it.
local acts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all of us being like, I did it once with an artist named MC Chris. He's
Okay.
from like Aqua Teen Hunger Force and shit like that. And
Okay.
he sold out that, but I didn't feel like, I feel like this one's more us
Yeah.
to where I'm excited. Even 100 at Funk and Waffles is a nice show.
I mean, 50.
Even 50 you can
Not
do.
to
Yeah.
be like rude or anything, but 50 there.
Does
It's a
feel
lot.
nice.
It's a lot of people
is.
once you get 50 in that little room.
It is, man. It is.
100, it's gonna be like a sardine can in there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't know how they're saying 200 is gonna fit. That's a tight 200.
So I was thinking that same thing until I watched the video I just posted recently. Of like I just like reposted a video I had from when we sold it out last time.
Yeah.
And like now I'm looking at it because I'm bad at gauging a room full of people, how many people are actually there.
Right.
So, but actually looking at it, I mean, you got a row of 10 people, 20 back. It's
I
actually
mean,
not
last
as,
show that you were at, there was probably like 100 there.
I don't know. I bet you if I like slowed that down and counted, I think there's 200 people in that video.
Maybe it's just a bad perception because you're in the room. For me, I didn't think
Like, yeah, 'cause you're down there.
because like
Like,
I'm
when
in
I'm looking at the
crowd,
camera.
I didn't feel, but I mean, I will say that I had to stand all the way in the back because I really couldn't get up to the, or I should say that's what I do anyway because I don't want to be a
you
dick and
fucking
just
task
standing there like a dick.
Yeah, that's my thing, man. I think that this is a dope show because I think people actually care. Like everybody that's on the show is like, I want to sell
Yeah.
tickets. Not a lot. I don't want to say a lot of the times, but I've been on shows where, you're the one who's like really trying to sell it and everybody else just kind of like shows up and you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're
but
like,
I've learned when I do that too, and I think this is the reason I keep getting like re-put on, and I've gotten put in better slots than I've gotten. Like I used to be a fucking 8 o'clock act. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
because you're bringing in people.
Well, yeah, I would bring in people, and then after my set, people leave, and the people who put on the shows see this stuff. They know.
For sure.
But I think we got a pretty solid episode. We're coming up on an hour. I'm gonna actually put in some energy and chop this up, get some ums out of this motherfucker because I hate that, and
Yep, I get you, man.
get some good content out of this. And I appreciate you
This is fire.
taking the trip out here and looking forward to working together on
Yeah.
future endeavors and this show we got coming up.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Honored.
Appreciate you.